welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing 90 Day OG. But before we do, I have some hot goss, as well as have a couple of informational tweets from the 90 Day official Twitter account. But let's go through the hot goss first. So, Love is Blind related. Chelsea has confirmed with her following on whatever social media platform that she has started attending therapy after filming this show. Now, it does seem quite interesting that she would have started it after filming, not since watching the show back. So it makes me wonder one of two things. Either A, they kind of say, especially with, this being created by the same creators of Married at First Sight, maybe you guys should do therapy after getting married. Or the other option could be that maybe things don't turn out the way she wants it to, and she needed to go to therapy. So she said that she has absolutely sought a mental health therapist and added that people who worked behind the scenes on Love is Blind helped her find a practitioner and pay for the cost of the treatment. Ding, ding, ding. So she said, quote, "I've never sought a therapist before, but man, oh man, I feel everyone could benefit from having an unbiased opinion. No shit." So she also said that prior to her experience on the Netflix dating show, she didn't think she needed a therapist. Girl. But she has since changed her mind. You don't say. She said, quote, "I had a ton of inner issues and I needed to debunk. And my life, my mindset, my heart has completely changed. I thought I loved myself before, but I have never felt this kind of love." So that's really good. I mean, jokes aside, I am happy she is doing what she needs to do to benefit her mental health. So kudos to her. I wish she had done it before going on this show. But anyways, that's that. The next piece of hot goss, Mary Brown from Sister Wives and her new boyfriend, who she just started dating a few months ago, have separated. They broke up. So she said just over a month after the Sister Wives star went public with her relationship with her ex-boyfriend now, who she recently called a good-looking guy. She'd been dating him since October, which I believe we mentioned in a previous episode. She had mentioned that on back in October in an Instagram post on her birthday. That's when she revealed that her relationship has now ended. So she shared the news on Instagram on Saturday as she reflected on the hard truths and difficult conversations she had to have last week. She said, quote, "Life is a series of experiences. How you handle them and what you learn from them is who you become from them. It takes courage to face difficult truths, yet it's imperative in order to remain authentic to yourself and your commitment to personal growth." She continues on by saying, "Just because I care a lot about someone and him me does not equate to full compatibility for a long-term relationship." Ma'am. A what? I'm sorry. That was funny. Nonetheless, let's continue with her quote. "When we have different dreams and aspirations, different communication styles and values, different visions for our future, and these things aren't aligning, it's then that we need to make hard decisions." Again, ma'am. Anyway, let's continue. She says, It's a strange and sad thing to care about someone so deeply, to look beyond their past, because heaven knows we all have one, to see the kindness in their eyes and their giving heart and still know that a lifelong relationship isn't in the cards for you." Addressing her relationship with her ex now directly, Brown wrote, I honor and care about the past 4 months, who I spent it with, and what I learned about myself through it. I know what's important to me in a relationship, and I'm confident in myself while I'm single as well. So Mary went on to add that she's choosing to look into my future with the hope of new opportunities in the wake of the separation. She said, quote, this is a time in my life to prioritize me, my well-being, and my personal evolution, and I look forward to more adventures and experiences on this journey we call life. So beautifully said. Anyway, that is it for that, but I do have one more piece, and this is 90 Day related. So I'm sure a lot of us have kind of heard a little bit of the rumblings of this, but apparently Michael, from Michael and Angela, has gone missing after just moving to America with Angela 2 months. He's been in here 2 months. Okay? Not only is there a $10,000 reward for his return, what the fuck? But Angela's attempts to contact his family in Nigeria have also gone unsuccessful. Okay. So, she says Michael's been missing since the 23rd of, I guess, February, right? The police are involved. We can't find him. And she said this in a TikTok video on Monday, February 26th. Noting that her home security cameras didn't actually pick up his departure. Okay? Now, Michael left everything here, she says. I know that there's people probably thinking, oh, maybe he just left, but like nothing, not any ID, nothing to show his name on it, no clothing, not a toothbrush, 0.00, no wallet, nothing. Clothes on his back is what he left with on Friday. And this is what she was telling John Yates and viewers, that he only had like $40 on him. So she continues on by saying Michael had just gotten here during Christmas time. The exact date of his arrival was December 22nd, 2023. So she says, if he left on his own, he should have called me. Everybody in this town, I'm going to tell you, they say, Angela, he's fucking walked out because he's got no reason to stay here. I don't want to believe that, she says, which I totally understand that she wouldn't necessarily want to believe that he literally fucked with her. Let's be real here. But she does actually tell John Yates that Michael actually has family in Idaho. That is a piece of information we never knew. Anyway, she then seemingly questioned their relationship and if she got played once he got to America and disappeared from her rural home in South Georgia, Hazelhurst, if y'all know. So she goes on to say, but this is some shit. This is Angela coming out. She says, but it's looking like he's planned this the whole fucking time. This is not funny. This is real shit. I'm not Chantel. I'm not Danielle. I'm not Molly. I thought she was friends with Molly. Anyway, you've got the wrong goddamn American. Because, yeah. So she continues saying that, naming other popular 90 Day Fiancé franchise stars, adding, I'm telling you now, I'm not going to let you fucking come here if you didn't love me. She says, he's my husband and I love him and I don't know where he's at. As long as he's safe, just call us. The police are involved. This is beyond what the fuck is going on. You got my 4 grandkids crying that something's wrong with you. This is, oh my God, this is so good. This is not Karini and Paul. What? I don't understand the reference with this. Oh wait, I do understand the reference. Yeah, Angela, you're talking to John Yates. He was involved in the whole like Karini and Paul situation. I'm crying. I'm fucking crying. Okay. All right. Okay. What do I say to these people? Because I don't have no answers. We know he's we know he's deceitful, but I don't think he would go this far and not call Elise my daughter. Why would he call her? Why would he call Skyla? Why would he call her? And Skyla hates him. I don't get it. Okay. I mean, if y'all watch 90 Day Diaries, Skylar didn't want her to leave. Fine. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. So, Angela turned her attention to fan questions about contacting immigration, telling viewers of her TikTok that she and John are not allowed to answer any of their concerns. You'll just have to use your common sense, she noted, of the immigration inquiries. If Michael is really missing and doesn't contact us, immigration can take over. That's all I can tell you. Oh God, this is so good. So here's the thing. One of two things happen. Either A, she killed him. Because like the thing too is about laughing that he'd be dead. But I'm just saying, like, she probably like killed him because like she says there's no like proof that he left. So the call is coming from inside the house in that situation. Second thing, he's like, all right, I'm here. I'm done. I'm gonna go because I got family in Idaho and this bitch can't give me kids and I want to have kids. So I'm gonna dip. And he played her. He would have played a Muhammad from Muhammad and, what was her name? Not Danielle. The other one. I can't remember her name, guys. It's not coming to me, but that one, the one from Arizona. And he like dipped, right? Like, it's literally kind of would have been the same idea. Ma'am, he played you. This 100%. He played you. But the main thing is, the other option 3. And this is a lot darker, so let me take the laugh out of my voice. He's living in Georgia, y'all. He is a Black African man in Georgia. And this is not like Atlanta, right? Where there is a huge population of Black people. He's in fucking Hazelhurst. I can't imagine that it's very safe for an African man, any probably man of color or any person of color. I'm sure this is not something you see very often. Now, Angela does have biracial children, grandchildren. So clearly, you know, there are Black people, but it's probably not, this is a Black person who's not American. I think that's the biggest thing. So my thoughts go to the dark place of someone could have hurt him. Now, the only thing with that is I don't think like someone would have kidnapped him and then like whatever. I think personally, this could have been a situation where if that is the case, like he would have probably been killed on the spot and that, or hurt on the spot, but that you would find him. He wouldn't be hiding. You would most likely find him at some point. Because no one's going to take the time, I think, to really hide him. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to my true crime place here. So I really think like if that is the case, like that's really dark. But I actually do not think that is the case. I think the case is he probably took off. He probably had this plan the entire time. But now I'm real interested in what's going to be happening on AGA. Like, I mean, we're not going to be really covering them every single episode, but I mean, I will touch on them, you know, throughout. But yeah, I just, I hope he's safe. I really do. I hope he's okay. I hate that, you know, I hate the fact that she's worrying about him, especially if he is faking this whole thing and he just used this opportunity to get to the States. It's really shitty of him. I feel for the fact that she says that her grandkids are really worrying about him as well. That's shitty. That's not okay. He needs to tell somebody where he is. He needs to be honest and say, here's where I'm at. Or if you don't want to say where you're at, that's fine. But to say like, I'm fine. I'm great. I just needed a minute. Whatever. I don't know. But he just needs to say something because this is pretty fucked up. But and then you know what? There is an option B. There's a whole option besides all of this. Maybe she is in on something with John Yates and is pulling the Paul and Creaney thing. That is possible. We don't know that, but I highly doubt, especially because they are going to be on AGA. We just saw them on 90 Day Diaries. She doesn't need this kind of publicity. Greeny and Paul, however, do because they're not a part of the franchise at all. But Angela still is very much a part of this franchise, and so is Michael. So I just don't see that being the case here, but it's definitely an option. So that was great, guys. All right, let's move on to the informational stuff. Okay, so first tweet. Clayton not only learned a dance number for Anali, he also arranged for a human-sized costumed guinea pig to join them on the dance floor too. Why the fuck didn't I see this? Why wasn't this available? Who dropped the ball? Like, honestly, because you did bad. I want to see this guinea pig costumed man, drop the ball. Not even cool. Anyway, next one. Nearly all of Ashley's friends and family thought the impending storm was a perfect representation of Ashley and Manuel's fiery relationship. That's a good one. That's a good one. But that's it for that. I still have to post the tweets, but they should be posted by the time you get this episode anyways. But everything, all the other tweets that I have will be on social media as well. But we have been talking now for 17 minutes. So let's hop into the reason that we are here. 90 Day OG Season 10, Episode 18, Happily Ever Afters. I hate this title because that just kind of shows where we're headed to in just 2 weeks. So first, since that was a perfect segue into Ashley and Manuel, so let's get into that first. So Manuel's getting his hair cut. We're 3 hours away from the wedding. And he says, actually, it was one of the hairdressers, kind of talking about the wedding and saying like how Ashley's been freaking out because it's supposed to rain. And one of the hairdressers was like, it's more exciting under the rain. Really, is it more exciting in a tropical storm? Because I would not find that at all fucking exciting. I just wouldn't. If it's kind of like a rain, except even the rain with like Alejandro and Katie was still like pretty. It was a huge ass downpour. I want a light sprinkle. That's a light sprinkle. It's fine, but a fucking tropical storm, not fine, not fine at all. But anyways, back with Ashley. She's getting her hair done. It's kind of getting things like kind of those pretty things put in the in her locks, and yeah. So that's what she's doing. What's her face is helping. Alicia's helping, and she's like, what if we do move the venue? And it's just a sprinkle. What if it starts and then stops? Like, what if it starts at like 4:30, stops at 5 or something? I don't know. That's a small window. Okay, let's try again. What if it starts at like 3 o'clock and it ends at like 5 o'clock and then their wedding's at 5:30 and then it doesn't start back again until 7? What if that happens? Right? But you know what? We're going to determine how things are going to go by doing what? Tarot card reading. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to do that. And she first pulls the 5 of Cups upside down. No use crying over spilled milk, she says. Then she also pulls the Lovers, but she said some mumbo jumbo about her and Manuel and that's not my wheelhouse. And then she also says she pulled the Queen of something. I can't read my handwriting, guys. I'm so sorry. But that's also upside down. And she says, you know what? She's a spicy bitch. This queen of whatever the fuck. I can't read. She said she's a spicy bitch. She's full of chaos. And she's like, well, we're going to get married in chaos. Right? That's what we're going to do. And she says, like, I'm not sure if the cards are reading like my energy or if they're reading the fact that it's supposed to rain today. And I'm going to say, you know what, man? I think it's reading your energy. Isn't that how tarot works? I mean, I don't know. Again, completely out of my wheelhouse. Anyway, she is getting like ready to get her makeup done very soon. Manuel walks in after getting his hair cut, and Alicia's like, do you want him to look at you? Yeah, do you want him to see you? And she's like, don't look at me. I am beautiful. Okay. She doesn't want to look. She doesn't want him to look at her because she's like, listen, we are dealing with a lot of shit. I usually don't believe in the whole like, superstition of not seeing each other before the wedding. She doesn't believe in that shit. But she's like, you know what? We're dealing with a lot of bad luck right now. And, one of those things being, hello, tropical storm, so maybe we should just stay in our lanes. You know, she just feels a little better if they did that. So don't look at me, she says. Now her mom is here, and mom's like, you're shaking. What's going on? And she's like, yes, caffeine. You know, she's like on 10 cups of caffeine right now, like a coffee of some sort. Jesus Christ. All that caffeine. I mean, Jesus. Anyway, if she were to get pregnant, her weaning off process off of caffeine, which obviously you can't do, you can't just do cold turkey, you'll stunt your body, but her weaning off process of that is going to be insane. I mean, my goodness. Anyway, so Manuel is dressed and he's going to head to the venue first. Ashley's now getting into her dress, and you know, everyone's starting to get emotional. She has a dress on, she has a crown on, veils on, everything's good to go, and everyone's getting emotional. She says that her sister's actually crying, and she usually isn't a crier. And then she goes up to her mom, and the ugly crying is setting in. Okay, it's starting to set in. And her mom's like, well, why are you crying? And she's like, Mom, do I look pretty? Pretty? And she's like, yes, you look beautiful. I'm like, if you have to fish for compliments, like, my God. I didn't like the dress before, when I saw the dress before. I don't particularly like it, but whatever. That's just me. So yeah, she's pretty. Moving on. So we're on the way to the venue. Her sister's husband, Samuel, is driving. Okay. And we're hearing the thunder. The thunder is a-rolling. And Mom is like, Lord, help her to be calm, because we need all the help we're gonna need in this moment. We need the witches, we need the tarot, we need the crystals, we need it all. We need her to stay calm. But you know what? The forces, even, that's why we need like the Easter Bunny involved. We need Santa Claus involved. We need everything involved. Everything involved. Okay. Even if they're real or not real, Tooth Fairy, everything. Bring them in. And because this wasn't enough. The energies of these higher beings was not enough. You want to know why? For those who didn't watch the episode, because in sets the ugly cry. And the ugly cry, she's like, oh my God, I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to cry. I'm ugly crying. And her mom's like, wait a minute. That's not Samuel? Why would he be freaking out? Why is he freaking out? My mom thought it was Samuel the entire time. And she's like, well, it's you, Ashley. You're the one that's crying. And she's like, oh my God. And she's just freaking. First of all, two things. Thing number one, and I said this from when she was picking Manuel up from the airport in the first, whatever episode it was. And I thought, this is some fake ass shit. I'm pretty over this. I'm hoping this dies down, but something tells me it's not going to. But yeah, I'm just like, what the hell? Like, it doesn't feel real to me when she does it. And I don't particularly appreciate someone claiming they're having a panic attack when that's not a panic attack. I'm sorry. It's just not. I have seen panic attacks happen. My mother has panic attacks. I've seen panic attacks in action. That's not a fucking panic attack. So, but anyways, that's that. Number two. Her family is so sick of her shit. And when they're not sick of her shit, they are tired of her shit. They are sick and tired. Wanda Sykes, monster-in-law. If you didn't know, now you know. So they're just tired of it. They're just like, her Sienna's at high school, big and wide. She's like, oh my God. And her mom's like, okay, calm down. It's okay, calm down. And I think it was Sienna who was holding her hand, and they hold my hand. Like, ground yourself. And it's just like, because she's freaking out, because she's like, the closer they get to the venue, the darker the skies are and whatever. And I'm just like, you're heading into a tropical storm, right? If hurricanes were a movie, right? Kind of like, tornadoes, you would be, was it Helen Hunt? Yeah, Helen Hunt. You'd be Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, or not Paxton, sorry. No, Paxton, isn't that right? Sorry, guys. I can't remember his name right now. Paxton. There we go, Paxton. But still doesn't feel. I'm getting confused with Oswald. That's why. Okay, anyway. You, these will be you. Okay, heading into the storm. Because who the fuck does that? White people. Sorry. But anyways, my favorite movie. One of my favorite movies. Anyway, moving on. But you know this already. You're still doing it because you have to wait till the last second. It's 89 days of his visa. You have no choice. You gotta do it today. But it hasn't actually happened. All you're hearing is thunder, skies are dark. It's not actually raining yet. It doesn't actually start raining until they get to the venue. I mean, I mean, I mean, I'm only 32 years old and have only experienced so many thunderstorms in my life, which is a lot. Usually the thunder and the lightning happens a little time before the rain starts. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Now, of course, the winds are kind of bullshit here, but you're gonna be fine. Get through this shit as quickly as possible. Ceremonies only usually last about 10-15 minutes. Get through this shit, skip the objections, and get on. Anyway, she's calming down, whatever. She's not ugly crying anymore. I think Alicia at one point says, "Do your breathing work?" This is insanity. So this was a great fucking line. She says, and I'm not going to say what exactly she says because she says it differently, but Mother Nature will work how it does. You know what? I'm a part of Mother Nature and I'm going to work the way I work. And I'm like, get it, girl. Okay. So that's great. So that's what she's going to do. So her dad is here. We've never met him before. And, the winds we're kind of noticing are starting to pick up a little bit. The rain is starting to come on down now, and the official's like, get the fuck over here. It's getting really bad. Do you not see the fucking rain? Do you not hear the fucking thunder? Y'all just hanging on back. Get the fuck over here. Let's go. Vamos. Let's do this shit. But anyways, he seems very nice. I'm sure he wasn't actually cussing at them, but I'm just saying, he's like, let's go. Let's go. So anyways, she comes on down the aisle, sand path, whatever. She's coming on down. I didn't like the fact that she was wearing the veil over her face. I feel like that's so traditional to the point where it has this, to me, has this negative connotation where it's like, oh, the quote unquote virgin is, has to put the veil over her face because, God and all of this shit, right? And then, once you're married, then you take the veil over your face and then, it gives me purity culture. So I'm just like, I don't particularly like that. I think that's such a dated thing to do. Like I haven't seen a lot of weddings actually do the veil over the face. It's something you don't see very often. So I was actually very surprised that she did that because that's not really her. So, but anyways, she does the veil over the face. Didn't like it, whatever. But to each their own. And they do their vows. I think the officiant said, let's bless this mess. No, he actually didn't say bless this mess. He said, let's bless this because the clouds are getting really dark and it's starting to rain. So yeah, it's like, let's bless this fucking mess. Let's get on with this shit. And anyway, they do their vows, like I said. Obviously he does his vows in Spanish. She does her vows in both English and Spanish for obviously him to understand and for obviously the people here to understand. Because not everyone obviously understands English and, Spanish, sorry. And, I love that the officiant was Spanish speaking as well. And, which is, I would imagine, is actually not too hard to find in Florida. Depending on where in Florida you are. And where were they? Were they in Palm Beach? I'm not sure where they were, but anyway, they, that's it though. They did their vows. They're now married and that's that. And it's funny too, because they're in the moment they're kind of talking about like, they're married now. Yay. They're married forever is what Ashley's saying. And he's like, oh, this is a 20-year contract. It's not forever. And she's like, I'm trying to be romantic with you and you just had to go fuck it up. And I'm like, I love him. And guess what, guys? We're getting a little more of him. because they are going to be unhappily ever after. And I will be posting there's another couple that I'm sure a lot of us probably already know, but there is another couple that are also going to be on HEA. We finally have the full cast of them now. So I will be posting both Ashley Manuel and the other couple, on our socials as well. But, I'm going to wait to tell you who that person is until we get to them. So that is it for Ashley and Manuel. Let's go to the mess that is Nikki and Justin Igor. I hate that I have 2 pages of them just because I want to get down the on-screen text and the text messages and all of that, but let's get into the shit. So, Nikki is getting ready to do the interview. She's been back from Moldova, and then all of a sudden we're just here going, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. How can you do this to me? Like, she's just freaking out. And she's crying. And she's like, how could he do that? Blah, blah, blah. And then we get the on-screen text. So it's that 2 weeks after Nikki returned from Moldova, she arrived to do an interview. While there, she received a text message from Justin Igor. And then we're back to her and she's crying. She doesn't understand. She's like, I know I can be a bitch sometimes, but like I've dealt with so much from him and all of this. And yeah. And then we just hear like one of the producers being like, Greg, can we please get a tissue box? Can we get a tissue box? She's really leaking. Can we get a tissue box? Let's go. Let's do this now. So yeah, we get her a tissue box and then we get more on-screen text. And as a producer asked Nikki if she wanted to leave. She said she wanted to tell her side of the story. So she's sticking on through this. So they get ready to do the thing. They do the marker. And then a producer asks the question, so what is going on? She says they got into a huge fight about a week ago. So a week after coming back from Moldova, anyways. And they haven't really talked since. She said this is kind of normal for them where they will get into an argument, really bad argument, not talk for like a week or so, but they don't break up. They're usually fine afterwards. I'm like, that's not fucking healthy. Like, you shouldn't be getting into arguments to that extent where you're actually not talking to the person for a week. Like, that's pretty serious. Like, for me, if I get into an argument with my boyfriend, like to an extent where it's actually like we don't fight a lot, but when we do, like, we'll have arguments or whatever. We might not talk for a day. Maybe I'll push it to 2, but I can't go a week without talking to the person who I claim to love. That's actually pretty impossible to me. I love him. I need to talk to him, and he can't do that either. Even if it's me that's the one that's mad at him, he will reach out if I don't talk, like, because I'm upset. I just don't understand how you do that and you do that constantly. I don't understand any of that. But anyways, she says that, so yeah, they got into this argument, whatever, it's bad, whatever. So the reason that they got into this argument is it's about money. Ultimately, it is money. I mean, money is the thing that breaks up relationships, right? So she says, which is absolutely no surprise here, that he doesn't work. She's been supporting him throughout all of this. His car apparently broke down and he obviously needs the money to do the repairs of the car, and she's the one that's sending the money. And she's been doing a lot of Western Union transfers over to him in order to help him with this. Now, she is starting to wonder if this is him using her. Now, I'm going to say something. It just came to me now as I'm talking about it. I had the same thing happen to me. Now, that was someone who's overseas, someone who lived here. But an ex that I had I started dating him when I was 17. We dated up until, I don't know, like 2021 off and on. And that was his trope. That's what he would do. Once he had a vehicle, because when I first met him, he didn't have a car. But once he did eventually have a car, that was his way of trying to get money out of me. Oh, my car broke down. I need a car. I need money to fix the car. Oh, I don't have insurance on the car or whatever. Or my friend, he would even do that. My friend's car broke down. They don't have insurance on the car. They need money. Oh, how much do they need? Oh, like $60. Who the fuck needs $60 to fix a car? Ain't no car out here only needed $60 for it to be fixed. That's gas money, not a repair. You know what I mean? But that's the kind of shit that would happen. So it is very possible that he could be using her, but it's also the other side of it where maybe he isn't using her and we don't really know, right? We're not going to know. But yeah, she kind of says that maybe because she didn't squash this, because she probably went to 0 to 200, not 100, not 60, 200. You went from 0 to 200. And she probably freaked out in her Nikki way. And he probably lost the shit, right? And because she's like, maybe because I didn't squash it or didn't end it or whatever, that he is now like, right, not talking or no longer wants to be with her. Maybe he waited this week to see if maybe she would talk to him and she didn't and whatever. And he's like, well, fuck this shit. Like, you're the one who's done the wrong. You're accusing me of using you and all of this shit. Like, he's done, right? So that's what she said. So then she reads the text message from him. Now, I'm going to reserve my thoughts of this text message until the end because it's interesting. But let's get into it. So it says, hello. I want to discuss something very important with you. And I ask you take it seriously. Given all the circumstances, I have come to a hard conclusion that our relationship cannot continue. I compromised and I sacrificed my own interests, shocked my parents and everyone around me, including my status and my dignity. Your fucking dignity? Let's get to it. Let's continue. However, continuing in this manner is no longer possible. For me, I realize I need to take something that I can't read right now, but anyway, I need to take blank. Got it. I need to take control of my life to rectify the situation. May you find a path to a worthy life filled with love and mutual attachment. Farewell, and I wish you all the best. And scene. So, here's the thing. Number one, dignity. You sacrificed your fucking dignity? So that's basically a hit on her being a transgender woman. So fuck you. No one told you. Okay? Number two. Did he put this through a chat GPT? Because there's no fucking way in hell this man actually wrote this, first of all, so precisely in English. His English is not great. So he must have put this through chat GPT. And not only that, not only the fact that the English is so perfect, it's also the fact that it's so fucking cold and detached of any real emotion or any, anything having to do with their relationship besides the fact of I had told my parents, I told people around me, sacrificing my dignity and all this shit. It feels like ChatGPT. He literally said breakup text in ChatGPT. Like, that's literally what he did. But then not only that, to go off on the fact that the breakup happened over text, you're engaged to this woman. You've known her roughly 17 years, give or take. And you're breaking up with her over a text message 2 weeks after she's just landed back home from being with you. Like, are you actually fucking with me right now? You can't pick up the phone at the very least to do it over the phone. Or you can't say, listen, can we do a video chat or something? At least you're face to face. You can't do something a lot fucking better than what you fucking did. That is so disrespectful. Now, that's if I believe any of the shit. Because, and the Oscar goes to Nikki and Justin Igor for the worst, the fakest breakup. Like, honestly, this is so weird. And on the one hand, I want to believe her because the emotion is so real for her in the moment. But then I also have to remind myself, she's been on reality TV in one space or another, whether it's botched or I think she was on a housewife show or as an extra or something. I don't know. But like, she's been on a lot of TV. And I can actually believe that Justin Eagle would not call her on a video call, especially if he knows she's doing an interview. And that's the thing too. I'm going to say that too. I got another theory. But I also think he wouldn't do that because he's not a great actor. He's not a great actor. Nikki is, to some extent. And that's the other thing. It seems pretty convenient that the text message came when she's about to go into an interview for 90 Day Fiancé. And he probably knew that that was the case. Now, did she write this breakup text with him? Did she pre-program this text to come through? I don't know. Well, I will never know. But there's definitely some convenience happening with this whole breakup situation. Anyway, after the dramatic read, she says, that's it. She's beyond broken right now. You know, she didn't think this was going to happen. How is she going to get over this? You know, she says she would rather have this conversation in person. That's agreeable. She said, doesn't she deserve that even? You know, she says she even like texts him, begging him to take her back and to forgive her. And she says she'll respect him now. I'm like, ew. But she said, yeah, he just ignored me. He just ignored me. He didn't respond. And that's the thing. That's the part of it I don't understand. We have all had breakups. We've all done with breakups. We've all done it. We've all been through it. Whether you are the one breaking up, you're the one doing the breaking up, or you're the one receiving the breakup, whatever the fuck. We've all been through this. And it's pretty fucking cool that a person could literally just send the text like that and then just no more. Cut off. I'm done. You no longer exist. I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because I've never been through that. Even if I'm the one breaking up or if I'm being broken up with, whatever. It just doesn't make sense to me. How does one do that? So she says at this point, I can't do anymore. They're going to get her stuff together for her. She's like, oh God, the sweater. His mom got me the sweater. She's just done. But what I really did love in this moment, which makes me even more angry, this is all fake, but the producer's going to have an idea of, honestly, I feel like they do know if something is fake. Come on. But anyways, the producer goes to her and he hugs her and he tells her, you're going to be okay. I thought that was sweet. That was sweet. You know? Anyway. So the next scene, we're just going to go through this really quickly. I'm not going to go through this too much, but Nikki is crying in bed. Her mom is here because Nikki called her the night before saying he broke up with me over text message. So she goes into her room. Nikki's crying in bed, covering her face, whatever. Her mom's like, we need to get some light in here. She's like, no. I'm a vampire. Don't bring the light in. Anyways, everything the light touches. But anyways, she, her mom's like, you know, he broke up with you over text. That's gold. That is gold. Yeah. And she's like, no matter what, she says that, you know, he just won't budge. No matter what she does, what she says, he just won't budge. And that just goes to show, like, he doesn't give a shit. And she said, this is the part for me that I'm like, are you dumb? Is your attorney dumb? Like, where did he get his freaking license? Like, from Lawyers R Us? Like, what the hell? Because she said she spoke to her attorney and her attorney told her to not cancel the visa. Because, you know, sometimes people can just change their minds. And I said, okay, and even if he does change his mind, guess what? Fuck you, because you're not coming on my dime. Because how do I not know you're just not going to leave me when times get tough? No, fuck that shit. No, absolutely not. Fuck that. End it. Just end it. But she's like, you know, I have so much invested, you know, hard to throw away 17 years. You weren't with him for the full 17 years. Like, come on. And she's like, but I don't really feel like maybe he loved me. No, he didn't love you. He probably doesn't know what the fucking love is, especially when he first met you when he was, 18? Of course he didn't fucking know, like, love you. You're just a hot piece of blah. Sorry, guys. You're just a hot piece of ass. And then you freaking, when he did go, when it was real, when we didn't have the show, you traumatized him. So, yeah, no, I don't think he does love you. Maybe he did once upon a time, but I don't think that's the case now. And honestly, I don't think you love him. I just think he's convenient for you, for whatever reason that may be. But anyway, Mom was like, this is upsetting. And he's like, he's going to get a text message from me. Why? Why? Nikki's 47 years old. She doesn't need mommy to come and send a text message to her boyfriend like, you broke my daughter's heart. Go fuck yourself. Like, no, he doesn't need to, you don't need to do that. If my mom said that kind of shit to me, I'm like, no, you're not. Fuck. Anyways, Mom says, get up, get clean because you stink. You know what? We'll go to a park. We'll keep talking about this, just get up and clean your ass. Something. And she's hoping that, he'll change his mind. And, Mom's like, well, maybe he will. And I was like, no, he won't. He's not going to change his mind because none of this was real. Anyway, she says, like, I can't unlove him. And I said, no, maybe you can't unlove him in the last week or whatever, but give it time. And actually, you can unlove somebody. Not really unlove them, but your love changes. But anyway, that is that for Nikki and Justin Igor. Finally, I hope I never see them on my screen again. Honestly, I feel like this is not real. I don't know why they were on my TV screen because this was not 90 Day OG. This was B90. This was the fucking B90. So why the fuck were you on my screen? But anyways, that is that. So let's move on to Clayton and Anali. So we're still waiting. Right, we're still waiting, and the doors finally open, and here she comes, guys. Fuck, she's marrying this fucking guy. Anyway, 90 minutes earlier, though, we still see her sitting on that bed, but you know what? She's feeling a lot better after talking to her mom. I'm like, you are? Because I got the impression that you weren't feeling better, but okay. But she says she's feeling better, and you know what? She wants to go and marry this guinea pig. And with the really soft fucking hands, and because she wants to make sure that he knows that this is real for her. That doesn't seem like a good enough fucking reason to marry somebody, but hey, what the fuck do I know? Anyway, she, gets to the venue, and after getting ready, and she obviously had her muas coming in and helping her. I think she had one. Or did she have two? I think she had two. But anyways, they all come in and help her. But she's out of the venue now, and his dad is actually going to be walking her down the aisle. She's like, I see his little face, and I want to say yes to that. And I'm like, oh yeah, all the things that make me say, oh my God, goosh, a little fucking face. Anyway, so she gets emotional about saying her vows to him. Her vows are very cute, his mom says. And I'm like, not the way I would describe somebody's vows. I thought they are cute. But anyways, what do I know? Yet again. And then they exchange the rings, and they are now husband and wife. God. So their reception is happening in a gymnasium, y'all. Y'all saw the lines on the floor, right? That was a fucking gymnasium. I mean, do what you gotta do, but I wasn't expecting a fucking gym. But anyways, they're having their reception in the gym, and Brandy says, I love her, and she knows I love her. And Anali apparently says that I am her crazy sister. And she's like, oh, well. So she's like, I'm happy, though, that a stripper didn't interfere with their marriage. Yet, Brandy, what are you cooking? Anyway, now he is going to have a little surprise for her, and he's going to be doing this fucking dance. Now, I don't have an issue with the Peruvian traditional dance. I don't care about that. That's great. perfect. But when he's the one that's doing it, I have a fucking problem. But anyway, she is surprised by the dance and she's like, oh my God, really? And he's doing the dance and she comes up and she's dancing with him and he puts the hat on her head. And I said, sir, her hair is to the T. Do not put that fucking hat on her head. But anyways, so yeah, that's basically that. And mom does say, after the fact that I think, it's time for me to move out, have my own space, and they deserve to have their own space. And yeah, it's been a long time coming. And I said, yeah, literally, you were fighting with Clayton, a week ago about the fact that you felt that he was trying to kick you out. But now it's a great idea because it's your idea now. It's no longer Clayton's idea. Okay. That sounds about right. But anyways, that's that for the wedding. We're good to go. So let's go on for the next scene. They have been doing good for the past few days of their marriage. And, he said sometimes it's weird calling her his wife because he's so used to calling her his fiance. And that's understandable too. Like when I did the transition, it was hard calling each other husband and wife too. Because it was like, this is so weird. This is so, so weird, but you get used to it. So just give it time. But yeah, he does this is weird and he sometimes has to catch himself. And it's like, okay, you got this. And, yeah, she basically then decides to tell Clayton that, you know what, I have this really amazing gift for you. And that is, I'm going to tell my dad that you fucking exist. That's a great gift, is it not? Like, so that's what she's going to do. And she's like, I'm going to do little by little. So I'm going to tell him, at first you're my boyfriend. And then I'm going to hit him with, oh, he's actually not my boyfriend. He's my husband. This is a bad idea. This is a really bad fucking idea. Let's just this is such a bad idea. But anyways, nonetheless, she calls her father and they first kind of talk just amongst themselves. He says he misses her. And then he asks, oh, how's work going? And I said, oh, she's not fucking working. Unless you include her cleaning after the guinea pigs, she's not working, Dad, at all. But she says it's fine. But then she's like, I gotta actually tell you something that I, didn't tell you. And then she calls Clayton over and she's like, this is my boyfriend. And her dad's like, what? You're what? And he's like, oh, well, why didn't you tell me about this? I didn't know about him. How's that going? And she's like, oh, it's going. And she says to him that the reason she probably didn't tell him, which is flat out lie, but the reason she says she didn't tell him was because she wanted to know Clayton's family. Now she knows his family. She's comfortable with his family. So, now she's telling him. But then she's like, oh, but wait, there's more. I've been hiding this really big thing from you and it's not going to go good. But she's really really and not telling him. And her dad's like, get on with it already. You're making me really fucking nervous. Like, are you dying? Like, what's going on here? And she's like, Clayton, give me your hand, your soft fucking hand, and put it on my hand and let's show my dad our rings. And says, we're married. He's my husband. And I'm like, oh God, this is such a bad idea. But Dad, again, is like, what? No, what? He's like, no, this can't be. You can't be. No. And he gets emotional. He's crying. He's not saying a fucking word after that. And he gets up and he walks away off the camera. So we don't see him again. And then her sister comes on and says, well, you really fucked Dad's world up just now. And he's really upset with what you just told him. So I'm going to fucking hang up on you now because now I'm going to have to clean up the mess that you just created. Okay, cool. Bye. She wasn't that harsh. She was pretty harsh though. It was pretty harsh because Anali's like, oh, okay. And Annalise is crying. She's just crying. And this is what she was worried about. But the thing is, it's like, your dad seems lovely for what we've seen. We've saw him very briefly, but he seems lovely enough. Why couldn't you just tell him you were dating this guy from before you were even engaged? Why couldn't you just tell him that? it's just, I feel like you really hit him with a lot. I mean, we've seen this with like Thais and Patrick, but at least Thais' dad knew Patrick existed. She didn't even tell her dad Clayton existed. It's just, I don't quite understand why she would go that route. But anyways, she's obviously really upset. Clayton was kind of hoping it wouldn't go that way, but it did. And he's like, so now what? And Anali says, well, maybe he just needs a little time to let this sink in. Maybe he'll be fine after a while. We don't know. But basically, yeah, that's basically it for Clayton and Anali. I wish her dad all the best, and I really do mean that. I mean that, because that's heartbreaking, especially when like you had no clue that was going to be happening, and that's what happened. Like that's devastating. I feel for her dad. But anyways, that is that. We're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we will head in with the remaining, I guess, 2 couples. I think we only have 2 more couples left, so we will go into the remaining couples. Have you ever wanted to guest on a podcast like this one that you're listening to right now? Well, you can. You can definitely do this by visiting a website called Podmatch, where you can sign up and be available for all different types of podcasts that you can guest on. Or you can even search for a podcast and say, I want to guest on your podcast. I think we'd be a good match. So if you want to do this, you can go to our unique link, which is joinpodmatch.com/reality, and you can sign up and do exactly that. And you can find us and you can guest on our podcast. So again, that unique link is www.joinpodmatch.com. That's joinpodmatch.com/reality, REALITEA, and you can be a guest on our podcast. And I'm back. So let's get into Sam and Citra. So we see Citra in bed with her sisters. Yeah. And with Sam sleeping on one of the bottom bunk of a bunk bed. And you know what? They didn't sleep alone on their wedding night because she was too darn worried about them ghosts. She said it was either going to be a ghost or a serial killer potentially staring at her through the window of this isolated farmhouse, so she just didn't feel safe with her now husband. Let that one sink in. So, anyway. He gets up. We see him looking over, and there's Herman just sleeping on that top bunk, minding his own business. He also thinks that, it would have been a little weird if he was banging Citra in the next room and then, her father's just there and could potentially hear things. So, he's like, it could have been weird. It could definitely have been weird. But anyways. So, they're in the kitchen. Herman comes and he says to them, kind of like making fun of him a little bit, like, you guys didn't sleep together. It's your honeymoon. Why didn't you guys sleep together? Well, because your daughter is really scared about ghosts and serial killers. I mean, same, but but anyway, they're going to be leaving soon. So, Sam's kind of seeing the silver lining of things. I may not have been able to fuck her last night, but they're going to be leaving soon and then I can fuck her. So it's fine. It's fine. Herman says that his only wish with him leaving soon is that he will be responsible for her, take care of her, but take care of the future children that come. Be a man, he says. Just be a man. Yeah. And embrace the religion as well. And with embracing religion, no alcohol, no drugs, none of that. Okay? And he's like, yeah, no drugs. It's all good. Mm-hmm. And he also says what I think is actually pretty good advice is don't run from your problems. Face them. And I don't necessarily think, I don't know if Sam necessarily would have been avoiding his problems, that being the more recent arrest, but I think he probably just, he's a man and he doesn't think about things and he just goes on through life without really thinking about, well, the bigger picture of everything. And that's why he forgot about the diversion. Anyways, 2 days later, they're back at their regular house with Allie and Dad, and, he's trying to get some. Trying to get some of that shit, And I guess he was wearing ass chaps, which I'm not sure if he actually was. I wasn't trying to look close enough to figure that one out. But anyways, they did have sex. She explains that it happened, it happened quickly. That's a nice way of her putting it. And he's like, yeah, well, there was a lot, built up and, just kind of, poof, really quickly. Well, yeah, if you haven't had sex in God knows how long, that is what happens. You tend to come fast. But he also said that he was trying to picture fat men and to last longer. That shit doesn't work. That doesn't work. Anyway, they apparently also had sex in the laundry room because she says that the dogs tend to sleep in his room on his bed, and they were like licking at them while they're trying to get down and dirty. Well, that's when you have to literally say to the dogs, you can't come in right now. Like, I know it's easier said than done as a person who doesn't have dogs, but it's just, you can't come in right now. So because they wouldn't, leave them alone, they ended up doing it in the laundry room. He says, it was fine. It was okay. I've had sex in the laundry room. It's not ideal, but you can definitely get the job done. But anyway. So he says, I'm nice and I'm slow and you're kind of a freak. You're acting like a pro, like you've done this before. I think she's done this before. I think they have done this before. I don't think this was the first time. Me personally. That's a hot take, but I'm just saying. I feel like this has happened before. But she says, maybe I can be his corn star, not to be confused with the porn star, because she says that she is corny. Do I make you corny, baby? Do I? I think that's one of the memes that will be posted. It's actually like kind of like that Austin Powers meme. Anyway, but now we got the court issues still kind of looming over everybody's heads. But no matter what, she says, like, she is going to stick by him even if he does get, like, multiple years in prison or something. Ideally, that would be not the choice, but either way, she isn't going to go anywhere, she says. And we do get on-screen text that says, 2 days later, Sam resubmitted his drug diversion paperwork to court. He should hear the judge's decision regarding jail time in 6 weeks. So I'm assuming by the time by the time the tell-all was recorded, we probably had an answer. So I guess we'll wait for the tell-all to find out how that turned out. But that's basically it for Sam and Citra. Let's go to, I believe, our final couple, Rob and Sophie. So they are now in Santa Barbara. And I wrote, where's Claire? Because I thought the whole idea of her sleeping at their place was because she was going to be going with them to Santa Barbara. Am I crazy? Apparently. Anyways, he kind of says, with all the different things they've been dealing with in the relationship, her coming out to him as bi, what does that mean for them? And her also getting over my cheating. Jesus Christ. Of course, it's the perfect time to go get fucking married. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, we see him opening up a bottle of champagne and it just spills all over him. And he's like, well, that's what I get. And I said, yeah, that is what you get. But you know what? He's actually handling this whole situation pretty well. He seems to be in a good mood. Who knew? He's not always a knob. So, anyways, the next morning, it's the wedding day. And guess what, guys? This sucks. Poor Sophie feels terrible. She said she can't speak without it hurting because she woke up with a sore throat. But what can you do about it? She's going to go and get ready. They're going to go and do their own thing and get ready. I actually thought through this just because I know like my first symptom with COVID was a sore throat. The first time anyways, not the second time, but the second time I actually just thought I had a regular old cold. Turns out I had COVID, but the first time was horrific and I had a sore throat. So I'm thinking, does she have COVID? Like, I mean, I know he doesn't, but that doesn't mean anything. Could have come from her and he could get some. I guess we'll find out. Like, does she have COVID? But that would suck. Anyways. But anyway, she said she's having a sore throat. Because I'm just curious, like, how would that have happened? I don't think they partied the night before. They kind of did their own thing. It's not like they went partying and she kind of lost her voice or something. She just woke up not feeling well, just randomly. So that's why I was wondering, like, is it? But who knows? We'll find out eventually if that was a super spreader. So, yeah. Like I said, they're going to go get ready separately, keep it somewhat traditional. Her friend, is it Soraya? I know we met her before, but it's been a minute and I didn't remember how to say her name. I'm not even sure if I actually caught her name properly, but anyways, she's here. And is my body kind of telling me that I shouldn't marry him? Is that why I feel like shit this morning? Who knows? Maybe, because every other sign you've ignored this far. So God's like, all right, so I'm going to have to do things a little differently and I'm going to have to give you, I don't know, COVID. So here we go. Anyway, Ty and Tarai show up to get ready with Rob. And Tarai says, he's grown a lot as a man. He has? Because I didn't see that. Anyway. But he still does have a lot of growing to do. Yeah, you don't say. He's like Tarai, I feel like Tarai is problematic as well, but I feel like he has a little bit more maturity than Rob does. And apparently he's only 2 years younger than Rob. So he would be still in his 20s, I'm assuming, because I think Rob is 30. No, he would be 30, I guess. 29, 30. But yeah, he has more maturity than Rob does. Anyways. So they got about 30 minutes now to get ready. With Sophie, we got the Mua coming. Her name, this is egregious. The Mua's name, makeup artist, in case no one has ever watched Ben and Mahogany. But we have a Mua, and her name is, bear with me guys, Chelsea. Her name is fucking Chelsea, spelled Shelsia. Shell with one L, C, like the one you swim in. So her parents hate her then, right? Is that what we're trying to get at? Her parents hate her. Because what the... Chelsea? Her parents must be Jamaican. My God, she must be Jamaican. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. I come from a place where someone will name their child Anthony because they can't say Anthony, and they will literally spell it the way they say it. Use your imagination. They drop the H. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Chelsea? Because you can't say Chelsea. I'm telling you. Someone do the digging. I want to know. Her family must be Jamaican. This is so good. Anyway, we got Chelsea. And while they're getting her makeup done, she's pouring her own champagne, and I'm thinking, can anyone like pour her champagne? Like, Claire, what are you doing? Soraya, whatever the hell your name is, like, what are you doing? Oh, you wanna know what they're doing? They're talking shit. Well, better yet, Claire is talking shit. And she's basically saying, like, do you think, like, do you think they're ready to get married? And she's like, well, why? What's going on? Like, do you not think they're ready to get married? And she's like, well, no, I have issues about Rob, because of course she does. She always does. And Soraya's like, well, I thought you liked Rob. That's fucking hilarious. No, the answer is no, she doesn't like Rob. But she's like, yeah, no, I just think, like, he needs like a kick in the ass or something like that. And what I loved here is that Soraya's like, well, that's kind of for Sophie to do. That's up to Sophie. She's the one that needs to whip him into shape if that's what she needs to do. So stay the fuck out of it. Let them figure it out. But then Claire just kind of misses that, and she's like, yeah, maybe with some guidance. Ma'am, I understand. I don't like Rob either. I can't stand the man. I think Sophie could do a lot fucking better than being with this fucking guy. But at the end of the day, this is the fucking guy she's chosen. So stay out of it. If she wants to be with him and deal with his bullshit, then let her. And when she's done and ready and says, oh, what the fuck was I thinking? She'll deal with that too. Like, her mom is too much. They need to be on the next season of Smothered, because this is too much. She's too involved. Ugh. Anyway. So, nonetheless, Rob gives to Rye the rings to keep safe. And he says that if you don't keep it safe, we ain't friends no more. That's fair. I'm with him there. If you go and lose my rings or you drop the rings, we're done. We're not friends no more. We're not a true friend. What the fuck are you? Anyways. So now Sophie has the dress on. And you know what? She actually looked very cute. It wasn't the same dress that we saw her in originally. But obviously, like, a short dress works better with a beach wedding. I personally think it does work better with that. It's either, like, with Ashley's dress, for example, because they had a beach wedding, obviously, this season. Her dress had like a train on it. It doesn't make sense when you are getting married on a fucking beach where there's fucking sand. You should have a more simple dress on because you are on a beach. I mean, obviously Ashley did not prepare for rain, but nonetheless, that's besides the point. You should still be just wearing something very simple or something that's not going to touch the fucking ground. Like, if you're going to wear a dress that maybe doesn't have as much of a train, that's fine. But I think personally wearing a shorter dress, and I think this style dress suits her. Like, I wouldn't necessarily do a longer dress than that, just because I don't think it would have suited her. I think she's very short. So am I. And it really worked for her. I thought she looked adorable. Now, it's not a choice that I would make just because I don't want a short dress. I want to have a longer dress. It just feels better for me. Personally, I mean, doing a beach wedding is also not something I would do, but that's just me. But I thought it suited her. The makeup was perfect. Her hair, I mean, I don't like her hair generally speaking, but I thought it looked fine. The fairy crown or whatever you want to call it, it was very cute. The whole thing, she looked absolutely adorable. So I thought which you don't necessarily look adorable on your wedding day, but she looked amazing for the type of wedding she was doing, which was a beach wedding. So yeah. So now we're at the beach. He's already there. And if we don't remember, his sister was going to be planning the whole thing for them because she is an event planner. And it's actually kind of cute. I'm kind of sold on the color scheme a little bit. I still think it's a baby shower or gender reveal color scheme, but I actually didn't hate it. You got the pink cupcakes and you got the blue whatever, and the cake had pink and blue on it. Her flowers in her crown too had pink and blue in it. Like, it was I didn't hate it. And I think if you're doing it for a beach wedding, like, I personally don't see it for a beach wedding. I would see it more for like very like mystical themed wedding. That's what I kind of think, but it was still really cute. It was cute, and she did a good job. The only thing I have an issue with this wedding is, so we're just going to kneel in our good clothes on the sand. We're going to sit on pillows that don't do fucking shit on the sand in our nice fucking clothes. No. Why is the reception and the ceremony all on the beach? Why couldn't they do the reception somewhere else? Well, A, Rob is cheap, but I'm sure you could have rented out like an event space or something in the hotel that you could have done that on. Yes, it might have been expensive, but I think it would have been more practical than doing it on the beach. If you're eating, you're going to have sand blowing on your food and in your mouth and shit. You're sitting on sand with your clothes that are nice and shit. That's what you're doing. I don't understand. And then you have to take your shoes off because it's better than leaving your shoes on because sand. And then you're going to have to put your shoes back on and then still have potentially sand in your shoes because, let's be real here, if you've ever been on a beach or in a park back in the day that had sand in it, sand never goes away. So I didn't like that aspect of it at all. I just, whose idea? Rob's, because he's broke. Anyway, that's the only bone of contention that I had. So we see Sophie's here, but they walk off. They walk off and you're thinking, they've been showing this scene from the very beginning of the show, of the season. And you're thinking, oh, is she going to dip? Is she going to leave? And you're thinking, oh, maybe this is a one season where we have at least one person not get married at the end of this. No such luck. They definitely, obviously, I think we kind of figured out as time went on that they definitely did get married. But it was just like, seriously? Y'all, she wasn't running away. She wasn't, saying deuces. She wasn't doing any of those things. And we also got the kind of got given away to us too as time went on, because we see Claire kind of put her hands up in the air like, I don't know what's going on. When that's like the one thing she would have wanted her to do is not marry Rob. So basically what happened is Sophie just couldn't find how to get to the actual wedding because she said it's actually not that easy. The path is not as easy to figure out as you would think. So that's basically all that happened. She just got lost getting to her own fucking wedding. That is it. So they do figure it out, and she gets to the wedding, she gets to Rob, and here we go. We're doing it. So one of the things that the officiant said, that maybe is just me nitpicking because I don't like Rob, but she says like, it is, finding her, being with her kind of made him realize that like he can be loved and he should love himself. It helped him love himself. Y'all, he started crying. That was the only time he started crying, was when the officiant pointed out, you weren't loving yourself before you met Sophie, and Sophie guided you to love yourself, and now you're crying. And it's just like, okay. So you didn't cry when you saw her come up looking all pretty and everything like that, and you're about to become a husband. You didn't cry then, but you cry when you're like, oh, I didn't love myself before, but I really do love myself now. And if this is you loving yourself now, my God, what happened? Who hurt you? But like, that's what I mean. It's just like he's so in his own world, in his own mind, that he doesn't see outside everything else. Now he'll say later on that he was getting emotional because she's about to marry me. She's about to be my wife. I don't buy it. But anyways. So I do love how the editing in this too, when they were exchanging their vows, because it's on the editors of the show, I thought the editing was so great because you kind of have her doing like two parts of like two like lines of the vows, and then you have him doing the other two. And when obviously they did the whole thing themselves, but I kind of loved how they did the editing of it. It was actually that was cool. I liked that. But now they are married. She says, you were crying. And he's like, shush. He's like, don't tell nobody. And when they were kind of talking about on their own, and she's bringing it up again that he was crying, and he's like, listen, I was sweating. From your eyeballs? You were sweating from your eyeballs. Didn't know you could sweat from your eyeballs. Pretty sure that's just crying. But anyway. And we do see his mom very briefly. So I know from before we had mentioned, what's her face? Sattler had kind of put shit on blast with Rob and showed pictures of his mom. And I chose not to show the picture of his mom is because we hadn't seen her on the show yet. We didn't know she was going to be on the show yet. We didn't even know she wanted to be a part of the show. But here you go, guys. That's what his mom looks like. If you didn't see Statler's original posts or whatever, now you see what she looks like. So she doesn't say much though. She doesn't say anything. She kind of agrees with something Victoria said, his sister. So Claire says, you can't take her, too late, they're married. And, they're already crying, everybody's crying, but she says, listen, the marriage isn't official yet until you've consummated the marriage. And so it's like, my God, Mom, why are you worrying about that? That's a very good question, Claire. Why are you worrying about whether or not they consummate their marriage? Like, that's so weird to me. How about we just stay away from whether or not they will ever consummate the marriage? But something tells me they're fine. They will consummate the marriage. Might be might be tonight. Okay. Might not happen tonight because of course, she's going to be tired. She doesn't feel well. So it might not happen tonight, but it probably will happen. This is so weird. Anyways. So Claire does catch the bouquet. She didn't need to topple over any moms in order to get to the bouquet. So she's like, I'm going to get married. Anyway, then, yeah, that is basically it with Rob and Sophie. So I did say we were supposed to be getting another couple. Now, just by accident, we ended up having one couple that is going on to AGA in the beginning of the episode. And now we have the other couple going at the end of the episode. So that means Rob and Sophie are coming back to AGA. Now, I don't know how I feel because I don't like Rob. And I don't really particularly like Sophie, but if they could give us a storyline where she may or may not be tackling that bisexuality that she has not yet explored, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Bring it. Bring it on. More for his uncomfortability. That's all I care about. I know I want her to have her fun too. I think she needs to explore that. But if it means that he's absolutely, in the words of Chelsea from Love is Blind, uncomfy, bring it. I'm here for it. Anyway, like I said, that is it for them. That is it for the episode. And y'all, that is it for the main part of the season. But not to worry, we do have a 2-part tell-all. I'm really excited for it. So let's get into what we could expect from that tell-all. So next time on, we see Nikki coming into the tell-all looking just amazing. As Jasmine says, looking like a Barbie. It's great. Ashley is saging the green room as well as Gino. Yeah. And Justin Igor is clearly just playing games with Nikki, and Nikki's letting him. Like, honestly, I don't even know if this is, genuine or not. I don't really care, but they are still together, not together. We don't really know. He says the door is always open. The door should not be open, at least on one side. The door should be firmly fucking shut. And then the windows also that need to be boarded the fuck up. That's what I'm just trying to say. Anyway, Claire and Rob are still not getting along. Neither one respects the other at this point. And Sophie's kind of just saying, okay, can we stop? But not only that, I think I have not seen her look. I haven't seen what she's looked like. All I've been going off of is what I've been seeing, obviously, on the show. I do know that she changed her look. I do know that. And I think she looks fucking incredible. Never fucking put that shit back on her head again. She looks amazing. She looks like herself. She looks authentically herself. And I love that. Anyway, Ashley's mom is sending money to Manuel's family. The fuck you say? Why is she sending money to his family? And the thing too is that Ashley's like, Mom, like either A, did she not know, or B, did she know and just didn't want the world to know? I'm going to say option B. That's what I'm thinking. Clayton thinks that the stripper was a way for Brittany to create a rift in their relationship. And we do see Brandy kind of doing the pot stirring, and yes, the answer is yes, Clayton. She probably was trying to fuck up your relationship. But anyways, Sam might potentially have cheated on Citra. The question is when did that happen? Did it happen before she came? Not that it makes it any better either way you put it. But did that happen before she came? Has that happened since she's been here? What's going on? We will find out. Gino has no regrets about going to the strip club because it's like, I didn't go to the VIP room or anything like that. But as Jasmine says, he did hug a half-naked woman. Now, why are we hugging the strippers? Why are we doing that? But in true Jasmine fashion, she goes off and screaming and all of that. And we end the scene with her doing her Jasmine scream. And guys, this is what we will have to endure going forward in HEA. So there's that. And the thing is, I gotta say about Jasmine is, you really want to go off on Gino about whether or not he, has some weird thing with a stripper when you had your ex-boyfriend buy you a new butt, at least one butt cheek anyways. Like, really? And not only that, you also you said to Gino that you fucked your ex, and meaning Dane Dan, and he fucks better than you. But, let's forget all that when he's dancing up on or having a stripper dance up on him. It's a fucking job, okay? They don't want fucking Gino. Like, it's surprising that you even want Gino. Anyway, that was me. Okay. But the only other thing that I need to say about all of this is the set of this tell-all looks horrific. Who designed the set? Horrible. Anyways, that's it for 90 Day OG until next week. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including, you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. We are finishing up with our Black History Month series right now, so it's been great over there. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well, or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.